And good morning, everyone. It is January the 25th, 2026. I'm Sam Walker from the Outer Banks of North Carolina as our continuing coverage of the ice storm continues. We don't really have a name for it. Big blob of mess. That's what it is. Here on the Carolina Weather Group. Glad to have you along with us here on YouTube and Facebook. We want to hear from you. Throw your comments in. What's happening where you are? Questions you might have. We really want to get those reports from where you are. Tell us where you're at, what you're seeing, and then we can pass that along here on the show. We've got a lot to get to. We are going on the fly a little bit here. We had planned to be carrying. We were told there would be a briefing from Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina here at 11:30, and that has not happened. We have not gotten any updates on the possibility of when that's going to happen or if there was a change in schedule. So we're going to pivot a little bit here and just kind of give you the broad picture of what's going on around the Carolinas. Get your comments as well. So feel free to jump on the chat here and comment on your social medias as you can, on YouTube and on Facebook. For those of you watching there. So let's shift on over to what we're seeing here overall at the moment, because it's a big old mess out there still. This is a satellite picture. Let's see here. Why is that not showing? There it is. Yeah, hey, you don't want to see me. Let's just throw it right onto the big screen here and give you the full picture of what's happening across the United States here on this Saturday midday. And as you can see, lots of greens, lots of yellows, and even some oranges on up around the Great Lakes. But for the most part, the coldest cloud tops with this system continue to be over Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi and Alabama, on up over Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and into Virginia, as well as a good portion of North Carolina, but still a lot of low clouds. And still some precipitation to deal with. And we're going to be dealing with precipitation, it looks like, right on through tonight and into tomorrow. So what we've gotten so far is just the beginning. We are essentially at halftime, if you will, of this system, as more of this precipitation is going to be falling on us here in North Carolina and South Carolina over the next, next 24 hours. It's going to be a mess out there as we roll through on this Sunday. All right, so there's the big picture. Let's take a look at the weather map as of right now. We'll share that tab with you. There is what the map's looking at. I'm going to hit a refresh on that just to see if we've got anything new that's come down for the National Weather Service. You can see the low pressure that was forming earlier this morning off of Cape Fear, right over top of Cape Fear, in fact. And a couple of lows, one over Louisiana, one along the Mississippi-Alabama border. That was the 7 a.m. That was the most recent. Actually issued at 3 a.m. So that's, of course, obviously changed. But as you can see, freezing rain possible pretty much all across the deep south and up into the mid-Atlantic. And basically where we're seeing it is what that map was predicting. And then out here on the coast where I'm at, it's been all rain. Really the only place, I think, in North Carolina that is not seeing any wintry precipitation today is here on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Otherwise, everybody else is dealing with it as you head away from the ocean. Here's the watches and warnings as they are standing and still seeing it from the Rio Grande Valley all the way up to the Maine Canada border. And that's roughly 2,500 miles long of winter storm warnings in that pink. The deep purple, that's where the ice storm warnings continue, which includes the western third of North Carolina and about half of South Carolina now. Winter weather advisory is still in effect as you head towards the coast along the I-95 corridor east. Essentially are under winter weather advisories, except for that little tiny piece of white carve out where I am in far eastern North Carolina. Now, the winter storm severity index, that has updated some now. Still seeing the moderate impacts over 2/3 of North Carolina. Major impacts right along the mountains. That's right along the highest elevations right now. That's for now through Wednesday. Obviously, I want to see if I can scroll that. Don't want to scroll up there. I want to scroll up here and give you what it is for today. And yeah, that pretty much matches the minor impacts, as we said, along and east of I-95. Then west of there, it's the moderate impacts. That's where we're seeing that quarter inch of freezing precipitation so far, with more coming as we get through the day today, tonight, and into tomorrow. Then the major impacts where the ice storm warning is in effect, and where we have seen a good bit of that precipitation on the eastern slopes, it looks like, is really where that is here in North Carolina. And then, of course, dipping down into South Carolina and into northeast Georgia. All right. We'll kind of give you this one only because there is still a possibility of some sleet, which is measured as snow by the National Weather Service. You can see there's not much there. This is between now and Wednesday morning. Not much, if anything, is sleet, maybe mixing in at times. I mean, we still got some pretty cold temperatures out there, to say the least. In fact, I'm going to actually, you know what? I'm going to change things up here. We're going to go to the radar because that's going to give us the live picture at the moment. So let me switch to that. Stop sharing, and we're going to go back to me for a moment, and we're going to hit the share button here and pull up our radar imagery. Let's see if we can get that to pull up, because window, maybe there it is. Yeah, we want to get the radar scope up for you. So here is the composite radar as of this right now is what we're seeing. And apologize for that. Yeah, let's get that over on a bigger screen and get me out of the way. And there you go. So that is what we're seeing right now as far as the bulk of the precipitation has moved out of North Carolina. Amazingly, yes. Not a whole lot falling at the moment of any type. It's, as you can see, more scattered variety at the moment. The real big, heavier precipitation has moved off to the north and to the west, staying to the west. But if we zoom out, and when we zoom out, you're going to see a lot more precipitation is on its way. In fact, we're starting to see some strong to severe thunderstorms down right along the Florida Panhandle and the Gulf Coast of Alabama and Mississippi, and even up into central Alabama at the moment, as there's some thunderstorms starting to fire off out ahead of the last line of precipitation. So still quite a bit of stuff's got to get through here today and tonight. So we're not done with this by any stretch of the imagination. Don't let your guard down just because it stopped falling where you are. There's still more precip on its way as we get through today and tonight. And if you can see the temperatures there, where I'm at, 45 degrees up in northeast North Carolina. You go down to New Bern, it's 33. Down at Myrtle Beach, it's 34. Savannah, 37. Then doesn't take far to go inland, and you see temperatures still in the 20s and even in the teens. We'll zoom back down to give you a better shot on the temperatures right now. 46 right now in Currituck, 50 in Killable Hills, 54 in Frisco at Cape Hatteras, 48 over in Englehart. And then it starts getting into the 30s, 37 in Edenton. And as we get on the other side of US 17, you can see there, that's where we start to see the temperatures getting right around and below freezing. Well, down to Jacksonville. Actually, that would be Emerald Isle, 35, 33 New Bern, 31. Just west of Jacksonville, looks like Richlands, 31 in Wilmington, 32. Down in Southport, 32 in Myrtle Beach, 34 in Georgetown, 37 in Charleston. And then we head farther inland. You start getting Kingstree, 28, Marion, it's 28, Florence, it's 25, Lumberton, 27, Elizabethtown, 29, Fayetteville, 26, 25 in Bowie's Creek, 27 Smithfield, 26 just north of Wilson, between Wilson and Rocky Mount there, 25 up in Halifax. Raleigh right now, 20 at RDU, International Airport, 21 in Bunn, 16. Yes, that's right, 16 in Henderson at the moment, 18 between Roxborough and Durham, 17 in Burlington, 19 in Siler City. On down to Southern Pines, 21, Rockingham, 23, Hartsville, 28, Columbia at 25, Aiken at 26. But notice there's no precipitation down there at the moment. But whatever has fallen earlier is probably frozen right at the surface. And these are the surface temperatures. Now we'll keep that in mind. 23, Spartanburg, Greenville, 23. Let's see, Clemson at 27. It's 29 just outside of Asheville. Then you get over into Cullowhee. Look at that, 43 right now on the other side of the mountains. And as we get there, we're starting to see some of that warmer air feeding in, advecting in over the Smokies and on over into Tennessee. It's up 46. Boone at 23 with precipitation falling. 19 in Jefferson. So, yeah, we've got a pretty wide, I say pretty wide range of temperatures, but you can see pretty much the western two-thirds of North Carolina and just about the western two-thirds of South Carolina are in the 20s still at the surface. But it's up top why we're seeing freezing rain or why we're not getting precipitation. But where we're getting precipitation, it's freezing rain. That's because what's known as the warm nose has gotten deeper. It has gotten closer to the surface. So there's still time for that precipitation that's falling as snow way up top. It's turning into rain as it comes through the warm nose and then refreezing as it comes down or falling as rain and then freezing on these ground temperatures on these surfaces that are well below freezing now. That's why we're getting the freezing rain. So there you go. I tell you what, I'm going to skip the forecast just because we're going to get what's happened so far. How about that? So I'm going to pull up the MPING reports. These, well, no, actually, you know what? Let's do the local storm reports because they have seemed to have been giving us, and there's not a lot of those that have come in so far. So if you haven't, post it on your social media, share it with the National Weather Service offices that cover your area, what you're seeing, temperatures. If you've got a glaze of ice, there's ways to measure that. You can search that online and give them where you're at. And that helps with trying to figure out everything that's gone on so far. So I'm just going to hit a couple of the recent storm reports that have come up. And we've got a lot of stuff that's on social media at the moment. So public reporting in Greenville at 11:20 a.m., freezing rain of about a tenth, about 15 hundredths of an inch. Let's see, freezing temperature 32 at Pitt Greenville Airport right now with very little wind to speak of. Down in Wilmington, I know we've seen the National Weather Service office there reported about a tenth of an inch of freezing rain. In Ogden, the public's reported that about a tenth of an inch of freezing rain. Again, estimated about a tenth of an inch. That was earlier this morning. Wilmington International Airport coming in at 31 at 11 o'clock. We go down to, I'm going to say that's probably Supply, about a tenth of an inch there in Brunswick County, North Carolina. Shifting over to Lumberton, that report coming in about 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain as of 10 a.m. And Lumberton Regional at 27 currently. I'll move on up here to this report. About an inch of snow was reported at 10 a.m. in, let's see, where was that reported from? That was just west northwest of Oxford earlier this morning. There was one other report, so I'm going to go back to that one real quick. Probably just the airport. Yeah, that's the airport conditions. Okay, Asheboro. Got a report coming in there. 6/10 of an inch of snow, and that's probably snow, sleet, probably more sleet than snow. That was a report at 10:20 a.m. In Asheboro. We head on out towards Winston-Salem. 1.3 inches coming in from Winston-Salem there. That was that snow sleet mix. Yeah, snow and sleet at the WXII studios. Around 1.3 inches measured there this morning. Here's another freezing rain report by the public. About a half inch of freezing of sleet, actually. Apologize there. It's sleet. That was Iron Station, North Carolina. And we're scrolling out here towards Hendersonville. In that general area, freezing rain about 0.3 of an inch. That was reported at 10 o'clock just south of Bat Cave. Let's see, Alfred reporting that one into us. A 1/4 inch of freezing rain at 10:47. That was in Skyland. And then out towards Waynesville, that report of 0.3 of an inch coming in from just outside of Canton this morning. All right, moving down into South Carolina, not a whole lot of reports there, but obviously along the I-85, I-26 interchange there in Greenville, Spartanburg, that's a target area. That's where the places we really thought we were going to see a pretty healthy dose of freezing rain was in that general area around Greenville, Spartanburg, then moving on up towards Cullowhee. Those areas were under still under the ice storm warning. Those are the areas that we thought were going to probably get the worst of this as the forecasts were coming together. Just before noon, just a few moments ago, this report coming in of about an inch of accumulation of sleet north of Welford. Let's see. This report here was National Weather Service office observation of 1.2 inches of sleet at the Greenville Spartanburg National Weather Service office as of 10 a.m. And then down here south of Greenville, that was about 1/8 of an inch reported by the public of sleet about right outside, about a mile east of Piedmont, South Carolina. Heading down towards Darlington and Florence, about 0.2 of an inch of sleet estimated by the public this morning. In Florence, let's see, they measured 1.18 inches of freezing rain at the Florence airport. That was as of 10 a.m. This report over here, about 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. That coming in from the public in Nichols. North Myrtle Beach, we got about 0.06 of an inch of freezing rain. That was recorded at the ASOS station there. And then on down here is we move on down a little bit, about 0.02 of an inch coming in from emergency management in St. Stephen, South Carolina. Another report near that one, about 1/10 of an inch, and that was again St. Stephen. And that's about it as far as what we've had come in so far, or say so far, what's the most recent coming in on the local storm reports to the National Weather Service. We could get into the MPINGs. That's really going to show what's happening at one particular moment, and that'll really clutter things up. So let me switch on over here to a couple other different maps. You know what? I am going to go back to the predictions for a moment because let's see, why is this not sharing? So give me just a second here, guys, to switch. Let's see here. Let me go to this one. Why? Okay. Yeah, my switch button has moved on me. So yeah. Oh, I know why. Okay. Let me go back here. Hide. I don't want to stop that one. I want to go replace the screen share. And let's go to this map. That's the snow map. Let's go to the ice map let's go to that ice map. So this is what we're looking at prediction wise through the rest of the day and into Monday from the National Weather Service in Columbia for South Carolina. Still another 0.2 to as much as 1/2 inch of additional ice accumulation possible in and around Greenville, Spartanburg. And that pretty much holds true. Anything north and west of Columbia is looking like it's going to be anywhere from another 1/10 to 2/10 to almost 1/2 inch of accumulation of ice. This, again, is what is expected. This is on top of what's already fallen, what's already collected, what's already accreted. Pretty much north and west of Columbia, that is the target area for more of the ice accumulation happening in South Carolina. We'll move on up into North Carolina with the same map. Gives you a better idea that North Carolina really is in the target, and Virginia for another up to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation between now and tomorrow. Oh, hey, hi guys. There you go. Let me go back to my map here. Let's see. Is that the one? Yes, here it is. Okay. Going back to the map now and show you that ice accumulation that we are expecting. We'll spotlight that and there we go. Moving on over. Move it over. Come on now. Let's see here. I've got so many tabs open at the moment. That's probably part of the reason why everything is doing what it's doing. Here we go. So there is your latest ice forecast for the next 24. Well, really the next 24 hours is probably safe to say, because the precipitation is supposed to end by mid-afternoon across much of the state. Again, anywhere from a tenth of an inch out in Asheville, maybe about 1600ths of an inch, up to around a third of an inch across central North Carolina and the Piedmont and the high country. And then, as you can see, that pretty much holds true down on to Anderson, about 3/10 of an inch. North Carolina's map coming from Raleigh gets very specific with its predictions rather than kind of a range like we saw with South Carolina's map. Otherwise, well, doesn't matter. We're still going to get more ice. It's just how much precipitation we get between now and Monday afternoon is going to dictate how much ice we get. We're definitely going to get it, because as I showed you with the radar earlier, there is still a lot of precipitation that has got to roll through here over the next 24 to 36 hours today. All right. Let's see here. What other maps can we show you? We'll get to the temperature maps in just a second, because as I showed you with the radar, the temps are going to drop. Power outages, that's where we need to go. Let's go to some power outages now. Give you what Duke Energy is showing right now in its service territories in North and South Carolina. And as you can see, the highest concentration is out in southwestern North Carolina of around 6,000, mainly south of Asheville down to Brevard. That's the largest concentration right now of power outages in North Carolina. And then you get on down to South Carolina. It looks like here's one that's about a 400 or 500 in west of Pickens, about 800 north of Travelers Rest. Only just under 500 in Charlotte, about 125 in the Triangle at the moment. So not terrible. Could be a lot worse, folks. Could be a lot worse. Overall, 8,600 customers, 8,653 customers with 327 active outages in the Carolinas in the Duke Energy territory at this hour. We do expect that to go up. Again, because we're going to get more ice. We're going to get more precipitation, maybe even a little wind action as we get later on in the day and tonight for some areas. And we still have that stronger precipitation that is coming across here in the next few hours. I say next few hours, later on this evening. So let's see. We'll shift on over to Dominion Energy in South Carolina, and they have a whopping 4 customers out in the Dominion territory for South Carolina. The Virginia, the Northeast North Carolina side, there's about 2,500 customers between Virginia and North Carolina, with the largest concentration of outages, it looks like, around Hertford County and Ahoskie and Murfreesboro and those areas. It looks like 500. Is that right? No, that's total. 2,500 across their total service territory, which includes much of Virginia and the northeast corner of North Carolina. That's our major power providers. Now, we do have all the electric co-ops that are inside these territories that may have outages going on where they are. So do keep that in mind, that, there's dozens of those, and we could, really dig deep into those. That takes a little bit more work. State of North Carolina does have one map that I'll pull up here before we get into the road conditions and show you some of the travel cameras that we're taking a look at. State of North Carolina does keep it's not as accurate, I'll be honest, but it does break down power outages by county. That's on the readync.gov website. They are showing across North Carolina a total of 1,100. 11,744. So that's a lot more than what we showed you with the Dominion and Duke Energy. This is a lot more of the co-ops. Biggest outages right now, almost 5,200 in Transylvania County, Henderson County at around 1,900. Buncombe County's got about 1,800. Haywood about 682. Bertie 500. Those are the top 5 at the moment for outages. Macon County with 481. So where we've seen the most ice accumulation, again out in the mountains, in the Southwest mountains, and then just in some eastern areas, that's where we've seen the bulk of the power outages so far. So 11,744. That was updated just a few minutes after noon here in North Carolina on this Sunday. So that gives you a better idea. And that incorporates the data that's being reported by the various electric membership cooperatives and municipal power suppliers, et cetera, in these rural communities in North Carolina. All right, let's go on over to the roads now, because that obviously is another one of those things that everybody's wanting to know about. And there is a lot more yellow and red, pretty much 95 West, because of all this wintry precipitation and slick roads. Quite a few crashes, I do believe, reported. Yeah, we got incidents. Road impassable. Oh, those are some mountains ones. Sorry about that. I'm just going to pull these up here. Okay, here's one. There's a good one for you. NC 581 in Bailey, road closed except for local traffic due to multiple accidents of travelers impacting the low bridge. Okay, that's not that's not ice related. Sorry about that. But you can see if you zoom down on drivenc.gov, you can get an idea what's going on with the roads. We can pull up the cameras. Let me see here. We'll get the cameras up and zoom on down there and just kind of hit a few highlights here. Let's start out east in Rocky Mount. Take a look at the conditions on I-95. You can see ice on the camera, and that's there's some ice. It's definitely covered in white there. The road is. Let me see if I can get a better one. It doesn't. That's not covered up by ice. We'll go to one north. Here you go. Here's a much better idea what I-95 looks like in the Rocky Mount area currently. You can see sleet and covering parts of the road. So definitely slick spots out there along I-95. On the northern end, we'll head on down south towards Johnston County, towards Smithfield. There you go. About the same thing in Smithfield right now on I-95. You've got travel is, it's green, so it's probably traveling at speed, but there's definitely slick spots that you want to be mindful of as you make your way down the road if you have to be out today. Here's a major one, the I-40 interchange. This is actually I-95 at exit 79 in Benson. You can see the ground is covered in all that sleet. Road doesn't look all that terrible. But then when you get up on I-40, there's a whole section between 95 and 42 that has got some slow travel there. But we don't have a camera in that location, unfortunately. So can't show that to you. I'd love to. Here we go. Maybe this camera will give a better shot. Yeah, I-40, it's looking at the ground. So that's not helping us out any there. We'll head on down 95 towards Fayetteville at the Highway 24 interchange. There you go. A little more snow, a little more sleet I covered along I-95 and Highway 24 outside of Fayetteville. And then let's zoom back out and head up we'll head on over here down towards Lumberton. And as you can see, I-95 south of Lumberton, really not all that bad. In fact, it's just wet down that way. All right, more interiors. Let's head on over to Raleigh, and we'll hit the 40, I-40, the I-440 and US 64 bypass. That, of course, is now I-87. And you can see very slick roads there. On out to Glenwood and Creedmoor. Same thing there at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. And that's not pleasant trying to get down Creedmoor on that side where Crabtree is. Definitely That's a slick. All right. A couple more camera shots here. I was going to try to get the Wade Avenue. Yeah, that's where I was looking for, was Wade Avenue and 440, but there's no camera there currently. So we'll take a look at Edwards Mill and Wade Avenue. So that's right outside of PNC Arena and Carter Finley Stadium. You can see in just one lane of travel there on Wade Avenue headed out to I-40 at the moment. All right, the big one that we always get concerned with is what 40 and 85 look like, where they're meeting up in Orange County. That always seems to be a problem. And there you go. You can see maybe one lane, not a whole lot of it. Man, there's not a bit of traffic on there at the moment. That's good to see. People are taking this very seriously. I mean, there's only a few people out on the roads at the moment. They're on 40 and 85, which always is a problem. Heading west on I-40 towards Greensboro. Let's get in over here to the Greensboro, the big interchange out there on the east side of Greensboro now, where 85 branches off, where 785 hooks up, where 40 continues on into Greensboro. And as you can see, basically one lane in one direction, maybe one or two lanes. But sleet and freezing rain covered is the story there in that part of Guilford County. On down to Charlotte, and yeah, we're going to jump around a little bit here so we can wrap things up shortly. So we'll just get you coming in. Let me zoom back out a little bit and find a good old shot of the 77 and 85. And man, that is a lot of sleet covering the roads there in Charlotte at the 77-85 interchange this afternoon. Is that right? Or am I looking at that wrong? They don't have it very well marked here, folks. So let me go one more camera down. 77 at the Brookshire. So yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess pretty much everywhere, guys and gals. You want to stay in as you head farther inland. All right, that's how things kind of look on those roads. I did have a shot. I did want to go up to the high country in Boone and Watauga County, where, and you can see there's the road conditions on US 421 at the upper truck ramp. Definitely a slick mess as you head into Boone this afternoon. And finally, we will go out to Asheville and see where things are looking out that way on the cameras. Here we go. Let's see. Coming into Asheville, a little wetter, not so much sleet, but that, this it's definitely going to be slick in those spots. There's Biltmore Meadow in Asheville. Outside of Asheville on the west side, looks like things are moving pretty well there. Not a whole lot of traffic. That's good to see. All right, I'm going to switch over now to South Carolina and take a look at some of those shots. Let's share that tab. Let's zoom on down. We've got, again, Greenville, Spartanburg. That's where everything's been happening. The worst of the conditions. So here's 85 and 185. And live shot there. Looks like everything's moving at speed, 2 lanes. But again, slick spots aplenty to deal with on 85 as you roll through Greenville and Spartanburg. And here's another shot that's glazed. That gives you a good example of the glazing that's going on with this freezing rain. A lot of these cameras are just covered in water and frozen up. So, not seeing a lot. And that any cold surface, any metal surface and roadways too can do that very, very quickly. All right, switching off now. I'm going to do a couple of whip arounds on a few things we've been seeing here. I'll give you this live shot from where I'm at. Actually, not where I'm at, but down south on Hatteras Island. That is Avon Pier, and it's a little rough out there today. Not a good day to walk on the beach. Can see some blue skies actually trickling in down there. Temperature 61 degrees currently in Avon on Hatteras Island. This was the scene earlier of downtown Raleigh covered in sleet. Let's see. We head to Liberty. You can see, again, early this morning, how things looked in Liberty, North Carolina, with sleet and snow covering the roads there. This is out in Rutherfordton earlier this morning. A friend of ours from out here on the Outer Banks who lives out that way now with her Starlink saying it's still running. And you can see how much it's covered with the sleet and the freezing rain. That was earlier this morning as well. What else I got here is a shot coming into Hickory this morning, or in Hickory, North Carolina this morning. And then this was in Darlington County in South Carolina, where you can see a few accidents have been reported, covering of ice on the trees and some slick spots on the roads there. Camp Lejeune said they had some ice and on their bridges and overpasses this morning at Camp Lejeune and at Marine Corps Air Station New River in Jacksonville. This is our buddy out at Watauga Online with one of the cameras there downtown Boone, how it looked earlier this morning. And finally, this is another thing. Had a fire at a restaurant in Blowing Rock this morning. You can see how the roads look there, but that's one thing that does happen. And we got all our emergency responders who got to get out to these calls in these sub-freezing temperatures, dealing with the slick roads themselves to get the calls. No word on the cause of that fire. That was at a restaurant, very popular restaurant. I don't have it in front of me at the moment. Let me see if I can go. Yeah, he'll have that. Oh man, there's video right now of that fire in Blowing Rock. Bistro Roca is where that was taking place. Bistro Roca. And yeah, Watauga Online sharing some video from the scene there. Let me pull that one up. Share this tab. There you go. That was Bistro Roca in Blowing Rock this morning. No word if that's weather related, but obviously, those are some of the things that happen when we get into these winter storms. This was from the National Weather Service office in Wilmington, showing the ice accretion they had there on one of the vehicles outside in the parking lot at National Weather Service in Wilmington. All right. Let's see here. Let me turn that off, and we're going to go to, because I got some video that James Brierton shot earlier today in Charlotte on his way in to do his regular job. And let me see if I can get that to pull up here. Where is that video? Here it is. Yeah. Here's James kind of following a report. Of course, he did a live with you earlier today to get the day started. And this is some of what James saw after he was on here on the Carolina Weather Group.
Take a listen. That is sleet that is bouncing off of this already frozen bush. The bush is covered in a layer of ice, as are the roads here in South Charlotte. When you look out the window first thing this morning, it may not look like much, but this is a layer of ice that is going to catch you off guard if you're not expecting it when you step outside.
So again, this is a video James shot earlier today on his way in to work in Charlotte. Just showing how the sleet was covering the roads there in the Queen City earlier today. He just gives you an example. He told me where that was. Let me see if I can recall what section of Charlotte that was in. And that was South Tryon and Billy Graham Parkway, pretty close to Charlotte Douglas International Airport. So it gives you an idea what the commute was like earlier today, in case you didn't see it. So again, if you don't have to be out there on the roads, don't do it. Okay, folks, don't do it. Stay home. Unless you're out here where I'm at and it's just rain. It's just Sunday. Everything's kind of normal. I just got an Amazon delivery while we're talking. I'm not used to that yet. We live in a very rural area, and they've just started Amazon deliveries where we're at instead of just sipping at UPS coming out of Virginia. It's anyway. I shouted at him. He said, yeah, things are fine. It's just wet up there coming down our way from Virginia Beach. So again, still more precipitation is on the way. Still more freezing rain potential out there. So keep that in mind. We'll get the latest radar up for you right now. The bulk of that precipitation right now continues to be out in the Piedmont and the mountains, but more is on the way as we get through the rest of today. Still a lot more precipitation's got to come up from down on the Gulf. You can see a lot of that has turned into rain over Alabama, but more sleet and freezing rain over Tennessee, even on the backside of that in Mississippi. And that precipitation's got to go somewhere, and that's going to be towards us here in the Carolinas over the next 24 hours. So we're not done yet. We're at halftime, just kicking the second half off of this thing. All right? Stay safe out there. Stay indoors. Didn't see if anybody got anything in the chat for us. That's okay. We love to hear from you on next time we go on. We're probably going to do another evening update later tonight. Don't have a time yet, so monitor the socials. You get notifications on your YouTube or Facebook. Make sure you turn those notifications on so you can know when we're going to be on here on the Carolina Weather Group. Okay? All right. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Walker for James Brierton, for all the rest of the gang. Frank Strait, and everybody else here at the Carolina Weather Group. We appreciate you being on with us today. And we will see you next time here on the Carolina Weather Group. Stay safe, everybody.